Thoughts on the upcoming match?
I think it'll be 2-1 LGD. I bet on Zenith, though. The odds are way too good. I definitely think Zenith can take this, but again, as they've said, they have been rather inconsistent, but I think they can pull like some curtains over LGD's eyes with some really niche strats. They ran Treant Protector and they
Timbersaw Flame.
Yeah, Timbersaw. They used Razor pretty well too.
2 games in a row.
Yeah, I think that they're just much more adaptive, and LGD is just like a little bit behind in the times. Although they use Spectre, I didn't see them use any of it in the past couple of days. They're still trying to adjust. I think the 4 Protect 1 strategy is a good strategy, and they definitely execute it well. But they need more tricks up their sleeve. They're a one-trick pony.
Yeah, I feel very similar to that. In the Orange versus LGD China, it's what 8 games that they played, and Orange Esport was able to take the early game phase like 7 out of 8 games. And in that weakness, I feel like LG is fairly weak early game. Zenith could easily punish that, and it could be 2-1 LG China like everybody predicted, or 2-1 Zenith. I feel like this is the closest 2-1 series out of probably all of the other prediction that we have made. So kind of go either way. But if you're betting items, go Zenith because it has better rates.
So I actually haven't seen LGD run anything too flashy or too crazy, except like the 4 Protect 1. They usually have like Alchemist or Spectre or Anti-Mage.
Like their flashy is like Kunkka mid.
Right.
That's flashy for us, you know?
I'm trying to think if I've just seen anything else, anything that I can be like, oh man, if LGD does this, they might take us by surprise.
No.
But I think there's just a very low chance of that happening. We need to expand it to octagons, have creativity, adaptability, just some surprise factor, right? And LGD definitely like maybe not 1 out of 10 out of these 10 teams, but definitely bottom 3, I'd say,
definitely.
in how predictable they are. And we already know how they play, and I'm pretty sure.
But here's the thing, though, like you know what they're gonna pick.
Yeah, but they play it so well.
You know what they're gonna do, and you beat them early game.
They're
but they still beat you, right? So
they've lost so many early games that it's just another day. They expect to lose early games. Like, okay, we know how to come back. That's they're probably more used to that than just straight up rolling teams.
Right. They're like they remind me of Dignitas a lot of times. We draft very greedily for the laning, for the farming, but they know how to beat the
they're so resilient as a team.
So we'll see how it goes. I think both of us are also predicting 2-1 LGD. But for me, I think it's going to be a very, very close to one. It could swing easily.
I'm really excited to see what Zenith has to pull out, though. And they're one of the few teams, as they said before, that are willing to experiment. I feel that if they keep this up and find strategies, pocket strategies, that just takes people by surprise, like Razor just like absolutely dominated in the last series. If they can use heroes like Razor or other heroes that are in obscurity to that level of effectiveness, I think they can easily take this and proceed even further in this Alienware Cup.
Are we talking too long? Is that the...
Well, we're still waiting for the Chinese caster.
Oh, okay. Because I keep hearing you guys laughing, and I was like...
We're laughing at you, Lumi. It's all about you.
Yeah, I'm used to that.
Where's your Hawaiian shirt?
The white people laughing at the Asians.
LD,
welcome to Beyond the
Where's your
Summit. We
Hawaiian
do this
shirt?
all the time.
Don't you have a Hawaiian shirt?
Bruno hasn't given me the hookup yet. We're going to go Hawaiian shirt shopping later this week.
Yeah, we're going actually later today.
And he's going to get me a yellow tux, too. Or maybe not yellow, but something...
We have to drive to the outside.
Powder blue, perhaps?
I think like lime green would fit you. That is
like the color of vomit?
What? No. That's not lime green. It's like very like
yellow,
you mean like
yellowish. Neon green.
Yeah, kind of like that.
Okay.
That'd be disgusting.
Merlini's already feeling queasy.
Like you'll feel like in a Joel Schumacher movie. Like you remember Batman 3, the one with the Riddler, which was all like neon lights and very Riddler-like colors.
That's like more of a darkish green, isn't it? Either way, I don't.
Oh, it's pretty dark. Anyways,
we'll
see that. I'll convince you. Trust me.
What are we gonna do with Lumi? That's the big question.
So I believe the winner of this takes on DK or IG next in the series.
You just totally ignored the most important question.
I don't want to ask. I don't want to talk about this. Lime green, ugly shirts.
I have a nice jacket at home. I can bring it as well.
I tried.
I like that.
Just point him to the nearest beer can. I'll take care of that.
I know. If you want to distract me, you know how to do it.
Yeah.
So what were we saying?
I was thinking about
something like
who are they playing next? If the winner of this series, who are they taking on next? I think it's DK.
Can we get the
brackets?
This is the IG or DK?
Let's see who it is. DK.
Mine.
Oof.
Well, I kind of see DK and LGD kind of like interchangeable.
Right.
They have fairly similar like safe drafting, ultra good late game. Maybe the early game of DK is a little bit stronger as well. They play ultra defensive. They don't give away like freebie first bloods that we've seen DD or DDC kind of waltz into. So I don't want to say that DK is a strict upgrade, but let's say if Zenith beats LGD today, it's going to be a very, very similar playstyle. Clash.
I wouldn't say it's a side grade either, though. I think
side grade, upgrade, downgrade.
You never heard of side grade?
And downgrade.
I know. I wouldn't say they're a side grade. Well, they're definitely
What
not.
the hell's a
No,
side
they're
grade?
a forward grade.
The fuck is
It's not a.
Well,
it's
you
not
have
a
an upgrade,
strict
downgrade,
They're
go
definitely
through
not a
D.
downgrade.
Right.
Side grade is just like, you know.
I don't know. I'm
don't
asking
know?
you what side grade
How do
means.
you, it's just different.
What is
but
this
not the same.
conversation?
This is two Asians
It's like,
talking about
okay,
English,
okay.
and it's
Do
just
you like chocolate ice cream?
Yeah,
Do you like vanilla ice cream?
yeah.
Well, going from chocolate to vanilla is a side grade. You're not going up. You're not going. It's not that one is better than the other. You're just going in a different direction.
That's really relative.
I know.
Because
Yeah, of course it's relative.
if you like,
Upgrade and downgrade is relative.
it's like, do you like Coke?
Sure.
Do you like Pepsi?
Yes.
I thought,
But other
I thought
people
you
be
were
like,
asking about
no,
kind
like
of
this is
Coke.
not a side grade upgrade option.
Well, it's that was probably not the correct term to use.
Okay.
I wouldn't say they're an upgrade though, but they're definitely. I think they're slightly better. At least their performance thus far.
Mhm.
So I think that if Zenith can beat LGD though, they can probably beat DK. Maybe. I think so.
I don't know. I'm expecting
I'm gonna put
LGD
rares on
DK.
it, so I'll
Okay, you
have to
put
agree.
rares.
In all seriousness, though, I think Zenith, at their best, if they draft creatively but well, if they don't feed and overextend, which, let's be honest, Ice Ice Ice, very cocky, aggressive player. Even some of their support players, X Freedom, goes for the show he plays.
Yes.
If they can rein that in but still keep an element of it at their best, I think Zenith can easily beat LGD China. It's just, which Zenith is it going to be? Are they going to be at their best? Will they draft the right way? It's always hard to tell with this team.
Yeah, I think that the way to put it is Zenith is really good at snowballing. If they can snowball, like if they can get an advantage at the beginning of the game, they're really good at getting very, very ahead.
Yeah.
And when they are in that spot where they're like, let's say 10 minutes into the game, 5k gold advantage, or 20 minutes into the game, 10k gold advantage, that's where they shine, and that's when people like them, because they're allowed to make these kind of plays that even if you make a mistake, you'll be alright, but if you don't make a mistake, people will remember you.
Yeah. They're like it's like they're a momentum, a rhythm team,
Yeah.
right? Whereas LGD China is just going to do what they do, no matter what. It's very mechanical in a way.
Like a German efficiency.
Yeah, they're a very German team, actually. That's true.
Yeah, they look like.
For
almost.
StarCraft.
Yeah.
There are creative Korean players, but in general, that's sort
we
of the
will have a
stereotype.
Korean wave of players in Dota.
We'll have
just-
some Korean Dota players soon, too.
Let's see what happens
Looking
to that.
forward to that. We already do,
They
but
will all play Meepo and Chen and Enchantress.
micro skills. Godz
Yes.
is already getting excited, I'm sure, just thinking about it.
All that APM.
Yeah, he can compete with the Koreans. He actually wants to travel to Korea. But guys, on that note, we should be getting underway very soon with game number 1. It's going to be LGD China versus Team Zenith. Best of 3. Loser not eliminated, but will drop down to the losers bracket. The winner is going to move on to
Yes.
bigger and better things. They will be one step closer to taking first place in the Alienware Cup, brought to you by Alienware, MasterCard, and DPM Interactive. We'll take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll be live with game 1 of Team Zenith versus LGD China. Stay tuned.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Alienware Cup Day 2 playoff action. This is LGD China versus Zenith. Of course, I'm Luminous. Joining me alongside is Merlini. And, well, this is game 1 of best of 3 series. We kind of all predicted LGD will, I don't want to say coast 2-1, but they'll edge out 2-1 win. But how are you doing today?
Pretty good. I'm actually not sure if this is going to go to three game series.
Oh, you think it's a 2-0?
I don't know. I think so.
Okay.
I'm feeling it.
I feel like if it's a 2-0, I think Zenith will take it.
Yeah, Zenith just, I don't know. They sparked a little bit of something yesterday.
Is that after you place your bets?
Oh, I placed my bet a long time ago.
Okay. So the rares are gone now?
The rares, yeah, I would say
They may not come back. Okay.
They're at the point of no return.
All right. Okay. Well, the draft is already underway, and no surprise here, as LG Gaming will select Alchemist as their first pick. This is
They
kind
love
of,
that hero.
Yeah, this has kind of replaced the Lifestealer or your Lone Druid of the previous patch as kind of the auto first pick if it's not banned out.
Yeah, the thing about this hero is just so flexible in the Eastern scene. You can either just have him super farm mode and carry mode with Grievel's Greed will absolutely decimate the other team's safe lane carry farm if you just evenly farm for 15 minutes. Just because of that, you can do an aggressive triple lane with triple stun. He has that really nice AoE stun. He can be good for anti-push with Acid Spray. He can take up that solo mid role. We've seen Mouse use him as a support role with a mech rush and a medallion for fast Roshan. There's just so many things you can do with this hero, and no wonder he is first picked by LGD.
Yeah, we saw Zenith doing that yesterday.
They got the EO!
Well, we don't know if the Eastern team will be playing the Wisp as well as the Western team, but we definitely saw Navi just totally decimate, I think MUFC yesterday? No, that was against tongfu. Who did they? Rattlesnake yesterday. So let's see if Zenith will be playing this hero. As well, Lifestealer is going to be
I really like the Lifestealer pick here.
And it's a good counter pick to Alchemist.
We saw LGD use it. They actually ended up losing the game in the Lifestealer versus, I believe it was Alchemist matchup, but Lifestealer he was like 7-0-7 20 minutes into the game. He's just extremely good versus Alchemist. I feel like he has a really high HP pool, not so much after 6.78C Alchemist that is, and Feast just does insane amounts of work. Alchemist is forced to get a armor item early. We see a lot of them get like Battle Fury, BKB, but a Nyx just rips him apart if you don't get any armor. And a skilled Nyx will always be able to rage dodge an unstable concoction stun if you channel it on him. And I feel like if Zenith goes in aggressive triple lane, they probably won't because it's an EO. It shuts down the Alchemist farm very heavily and forces him to play defensively and not greedy.
Yeah, you say force an Alchemist going in armor item. A lot of Alchemists nowadays, like you said, they kind of want to skip that Assault Carry until much later. You go BKB first, you go that Shadow Blade first.
They love
the
Battle
Fury.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see LG go Battle Fury as much. I think they mostly stick to things like Shadow Blade, BKB, that kind of thing.
Right.
But if it is a solo mid Alchemist, I think we're kind of talking more of the one row Alchemist. If it's a solo mid Alchemist, then you see a quick mech. And that argument of Lifestealer being a decent counter is it's kind of out of the window because it gives you a ton of armor, gives everybody else a ton of armor. So we'll see if Alchemist is going to be quote unquote forced onto the mid lane, but yeah, it's definitely a wait and see. And of course, Windrunner to me has been rediscovered. Not really as a suicide laner anymore. You still put her on the long lane, but sometimes with 2 support helping her out. But her ability to harass early on, get a ton of last hits in the lane, and be kind of a big factor during the mid to late game. Those shackle shots we've seen in the Alienware Cup so far has been just high turning.
Windrunners also seem to find a lot of farm. I think it's mostly just because Windrunner is so difficult to kill, especially against a Lifestealer. You can just Windrun, Kite turning, Rage, and then just shackle. And the shackle shots they've been hackle shots as Lumi has been deeming them, but I mean, this hero is just absolutely insane. I don't know why she fell out of popularity, just dropped off, but she has seen a resurgence and a well-deserved one at that. EO picked by Zenith. I mean, we expect Zenith to pick something a little bit different. EO is not too far out of the ordinary just because we see Western teams running a lot, and we also saw Zenith run this yesterday, but I think it's a good pick overall. It's, again, throws the wrench into LGD Gaming's try and passive play. But we will see how that works out for them. They actually ban out Slark, too.
Yeah, I'm surprised at Slark ban, although Zenith is a team that definitely could employ Slark. Of course, on the other side of the bans, Zenith banning out both Bane Elemental as well as Beastmaster just to protect that Lifestealer. So it seems like they're putting a ton of, at least for now, a lot of
I think they should take out
this
Weaver, maybe? I don't know.
Maybe they're thinking of picking a Weaver, although I'm not exactly sure what Keeper of Light's doing here, although I wouldn't be saying that 2 months ago. 2 months ago, he's definitely your top tier support. Now, maybe they're looking to stack the jungle early on and give Wisp a ton of EXP. Maybe they're thinking of picking Storm. I feel like this
will be a pretty darn good Storm game.
lineup, right? You have a Wisp to tether up for mana, and then you chakra the Wisp, and suddenly everybody has a ton of mana.
You can TP home and recall back in for a full mana pool.
You could drop your life steal in the middle of team fight. This is probably the best Storm game, and of course you're zipping into a Magnus to disable him, prevent the RP. I feel like this is a Storm lineup. No, they're gonna go with
Puck's pretty good too.
Yeah.
I like the aggressive mid initiator. I feel like this works very well into Zenith's playstyle, and if they can prevent that good RP and kind of take an early game lead and prevent him from getting like a 15-20 minute blink, this will, I think, will go very well in Zenith's favor. I'm actually surprised there is no Weaver ban. No surprise from LG. Again, they tend to pick very safe picks. Magnus is a very safe pick. If you're behind, you can usually catch up. You can usually turtle, wait for an opponent to make one mistake, and then just RP and devastate them and definitely turn the game around like that. So Rubik, also pretty good anti-pusher, one of the most common supports in the game right now. Nothing particularly good for him to spell steal right now. No Black Hole, no RP, no Ravage, anything like that, but still a very all-around good
If you
support.
steal like a Chakra Magic, then you're like happy for days. If you steal like any Puck of Puck's spells, you're happy as well. To me, I feel like LG, if this game goes late enough, their hero will overpower Zenith. You get double BKB on Alchemist and Magnus, and what is this Zenith team gonna do? I mean,
they need Abyssal and Lifestealer if that's the case.
But Alchemist could easily get his own Abyssal, right?
He farms so much faster than Lifestealer.
Yeah, so I just feel like, as we see a Tiny being banned out from LGD and Jakiro being banned out on Zenith's side, I feel that if Zenith fails to dominate early with a quick Puck blink and a Lifestealer kind of just railing down everybody, I just think LGD will just take it on in terms of hero potential.
I believe that's true too, but again, we really have to see how this early game pans out. I'm curious to see whether Zenith is actually going to contest it. I feel like they can, just because Rubik doesn't actually do that much damage early, and the Lifestealer can just chew through most of them. Rubik won't be able to save them if they go on the Alchemist, especially with that Rage. But again, we'll have to see. I think the early move speed, if he goes early phase boost on the Lifestealer with that Tether move speed, is just going to be absolutely ridiculous and crush these heroes if they aren't Windrunner.
Right. So Zenith looking at the last pick, looking for the off lane. So we see this is Ice kind of random hero. It's going to be a Naga Siren. So are we going to see some sort of offensive trialing featuring?
I think we may see.
Are we going to see a solo Wisp?
I think it's going to be Naga mid, Puck safe lane versus a Windrunner possibly, and then aggressive tri lane
with the Wisp involved.
I don't think that LGD's China's their triple lane isn't that strong right now. It really depends on the last pick. But again, Rubik no damage. Alchemist, he's decent, but are you really going to be able to hit an Alchemist or hit a Lifestealer with that unstable concoction? Maybe, but you're going to have to blow a lot of spells on it. You're going to take Illuminate, and they have nearly infinite mana with the Wisp Tether.
Yeah, it seems like when Zenith has played Naga in the past.
Nixon says this is a great pick.
Why do you think that's true?
I think it's really good to try and keep Zenith. If they do an aggressive triple lane, they just need to delay the game as long as possible. Again, this plays well into LGD's strategy. They need to just mana burn, take out Zenith's aggression. If they don't have any mana, they can't play aggressively. And then because of that, they can just farm up, play passively, wait for Zenith to push at a wrong time, overextend, clump up, any of those things, and then just take the game by storm. If they have such a sick combo right now, RP into unstable concoction with an Empower, Alchemist just beating on them, and then Nyx Assassin's Son to follow up. That's so ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely give you a ton of great killing power on heroes like Wisp, as well as Keeper of Light. Very, very squishy. Mana Burn's going to do a ton. I feel like the utility of Mana Burn is going to be not felt during the mid game because of Chakra Magic. Although the flip side of the argument could be held that you always have mana to burn. I guess that's
Nyx Assassin's so good versus Keeper of Light too. If you try and defend the tower, that Carapace just demolishes them.
For sure. So looks like both teams has picked their heroes. Well, LG is not here. Let's quickly introduce the Zenith has had to have selected everything. It's going to be a Yamete solo mid Puck. Ice is going to be. He generally is the offlane player. Let's see if it's going to be an offlane Naga Siren. See what's going on.
Solo mid Naga Siren? Yeah. That's definitely what I'm predicting. Just because I saw Zenith do this the other day. When they had the Razor, they put the Naga Siren solo mid, got her a decent amount of farmer level. She pretty much beat a Queen of Pain in a 1v1 matchup. I don't think that should happen personally, but I think their solo mid Naga Siren works out very well for them. Again, Puck is a little bit strange in the off lane. It really depends on the matchup. Again, he won't be able to stand up against a triple lane, especially with mana burn. But if he's versus a Windrunner, I think he'll be okay, but I don't think that matchup favors the Puck in any means. I definitely think it favors the Windrunner. But if they put the Puck safe lane, their off lane is in deep trouble with this somewhat potential to be aggressive lineup with the Nyx Assassin, with the Alchemist, with the Rubik, the triple stun lane. If Zenith caught out of position, especially the Cube of the Light, could easily be a first blood in favor of LGD.
Right, and here for LGD, they will have Xiaoe going mid on the Magnus versus that Naga Siren. So kind of yesterday we see Naga Siren on the mid lane, and we're both quite surprised of how well she handles that lane. In terms of a Magnus matchup, where Naga Siren, what she really is weak at is space damage. And I think Magnus could definitely take advantage of that and probably edge out on the mid lane in terms of spam war. Like, both could spam fairly efficiently. Both is quite dependent on the bottom curling as well. So I feel the edge of the base damage on Magnus should allow him to kind of take that lane.
Yeah, I think it won't be that much in favor of him just because I think that Naga has superior rune control, and that if LGD China tries to contest the rune in a triple versus triple, I think they're just going to straight up die and give it first blood. So I think because of that, Naga will be able to control the illusions like we saw the other day and get the runes, and if she gets the runes, I think she'll win the lane. But again, it's very, very rune dependent. Naga's base damage isn't the best, as Lumi said, especially if the Magnus opts to take an early point in power, which we see some of them do. But again, it's way more important to get levels on the Naga than farm. We saw her just rush a Radiance the other day.
Yes.
So if she can fight for 20 minutes with just treads and a bottle, then that just really shows
and she definitely
how
can.
potent she can be without items.
The beauty of this particular, I guess if you want to call it a counter, is that Magnus has to hit Naga in that RP every single time. Because if you don't, it's a sleep, it's a reset, everybody, and you're actually clumped. Because once you hit the RP, you're like, oh, freebie, let's all clump around, drop our AoE and win. If you don't hit Naga in that RP, or if your RP isn't beautiful enough, you actually get semi-RP back, if that makes any sense.
So whose draft do you like more right now?
I like Zenith's draft a little bit more, but I'm not sure if I like their lanes. Because we're predicting that they go offensive tri-lane with Wisp. And I haven't ever seen that work.
Do you think that LGD will really punish them for that, though, because of their passive
Well,
play
LGD
style?
is definitely one of your weaker early team. So I feel like if there's one team that you could get away with this kind of lineup, you definitely could do it against LGD.
Right. So I guess if they do lane the way we think they will, which is going to be Puck versus solo Windrunner top, Magnus middle versus the Naga Siren, and then bottom lane where the 6 hero action is. I think if there are 0 kills in the first 10 minutes of the game, that will definitely go in Zenith's favor, just because they'll get levels on the Wisp, they'll get farm up on the Life Stealer, and then they'll try and proceed to put a lot of pressure once Naga hits that level 8 to 9 mark. I would say level 7, but she really needs like treads and bottle.
Do you feel that if there's no kills on the bot lane, LG would work the jungle a little bit better because they have the access to the pool?
I think it's too difficult to contest with the Keeper of the Light.
Sure, that's definitely,
it's just extremely difficult to do. I mean, Rubik is not the best at last hitting the Ancients. Neither is Nyx Assassin. Neither of them have terribly spammy nukes, especially with the Fade Bolt nerf quite some time ago. I think the Caudal Blast would just absolutely destroy it. And if they can get a fast level 6 on them and not lose their triple lane, then I think this could potentially be a Zenith victory. But again, top and mid lane probably going to be a wash. We might not actually see the aggressive triple lane because we see all 5 of Zenith's heroes top.
Yeah, it's a Quelling Blade pickup here on Naga Siren as well. We're talking about the low base damage, and this is not going to be a solo mid Naga as we expect generally. Well, it could be.
It could be.
200 gold on the bank, although I guess if you're rushing for the quick bottle, you won't actually go for all of these regen items. So it's going to be a safe lane Naga Siren, which is something that we haven't seen since TI2, right? Naga nowadays either solo mid, either
are they doing
support.
2-on-2?
Yeah, it seems like a really old school kind of way to lane. This Wisp has a bit of gold left as well, just a Tango and a Clarity on top of him. It's going to be an off-lane Lifestealer with Ice backing him up on the Keeper of Light. This is something we haven't seen too much, and I do definitely believe that a Lifestealer is one of the best and most underrated off-lane hero. We definitely seen LG International Brax play this role quite a bit on the off-lane, and to great effect as well. And it's going to be Yamate on the mid lane with Puck, and he should definitely have the matchup advantage against Magnus.
So it looks like Ice will pick up a DD on top. I don't really like this lane out from Zenith just because Freedom will have a very hard time zoning the Windrunner out. And if you don't do that, you're probably going to lose your bottom lane just because it's 3-on-2. And mid lane's going to be...
it's going to be a tri-lane up top.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and it's going to be Lifestealer on the bot.
Again, this Windrunner was actually pulled 2 sets of Tango. So she started off with boots first. And the killing potential from this triple lane is not the best. It's decent because you can ensnare her during the Windrun duration and just try and Zerg her down after that. But with the boots, it should be fairly difficult to do.
This is going to just be a straight-up jungle Lifestealer to begin with, and I mean, I definitely seen Brax kind of even bully, I want to say, multiple supports because you have Rage, and because you know you're not going to die, you could play so much more offensively. You could trade hits with support very easily because you just run at them. But instead, he's going to just straight up jungle, and it's not bad per se, but it's very, very slow. This is what you see in pub games a lot, and it just feels like it always feels to me, at least, very, very, very slow farm.
Yeah, and I mean, that's good. Compared to the Alchemist, I think the Alchemist is going to be a very big issue for them later. Already picking up a points of Grievel's Greed, scouting out nobody in the lane, and the Windrunner is still getting decent amounts of experience up top. They're trying to chain pull right now, but Windrunner is just going to try and harass them. He doesn't really feel the threat potential, especially with Ice at the tower.
Yeah, to me, I feel like because Lifestealer is not on the bot lane, it allows LG support to do justice, right? You basically tunnel pull and pull all day. Not only are you denying a lot of creeps, you're also making sure that your 2 supports are very farm. Also, if they want to, they could start ganking mid lane with a Smoke of Deceit as well. More importantly, you're not tackling where LGD is weakest. They are so weak early on. Players sometimes just kind of misstep and give up first blood. Their early game is definitely something that you can punish at, and because the way that they're laning this, they're not punishing them at all.
At least they're winning mid, though. At least theoretically, the matchup should go in Yamata's favor in this Puck versus Magnus lineup. But Magnus only one last hit, but actually he's even on CS now.
He's doing quite okay here. He is bottle crawling very, very hard, and Yamate should have the better rooting control as well, but it's not even by that much. So Xiaoi's definitely doing fine. They're going to be running for that top lane. It's going to be XY picking up. He does have open wounds here, but already Orb flew out, and looks like Yamate wants to secure that rune. How's that top lane doing? I'm not sure if you've been watching that as much, but Windrunner getting some CS, critically getting some levels as well.
Yep, I mean, they're doing a decent job of pulling, although they haven't actually stacked the camp any of the times. Let's see the supports on the side of Zenith compared to the supports on the side of LGD. They look to be fairly similar.
Yeah. Level, quickly checking out, the graph is showing that the LGD supports are getting a little bit better as expected. Well, you know, XY is not getting too much in the jungle as well. He's going to be hitting healthy level 2. And for farm, yeah, nothing too much to kind of show for either team as well. You expect the Radiant team to farm better, and they are.
Yeah, so this is not the really whack strategy that I was kind of expecting out of Zenith, but it is a little bit different.
I mean, kind of what we expected out of Zenith in today's matchup is for them to have a wacky strategy and take LG by surprise. Just on a kind of a generic question to you is that, do you think that Zenith playing their kind of A standard game is going to beat LGD standard game? I don't think they will.
I don't think so either, but again, I like their hero picks a little bit more. It just seems way more flexible. LGD is just way too easy to predict as to what they're going to do. Just get farm from an Alchemist, try and take good fights with RP, and just win it from there. Zenith, I feel like they could try and contest it late game with a Basher or an Abyssal on the Lifestealer. They can try and do some sneaky team fights with the Ice Initiate. They can try and do relocate ganks. They can try and just play aggressive with Puck and Fest Bombs. I feel like their lineup is just a little bit more flexible, although I'm not exactly sure if they are going to utilize that flexibility.
Well, Alchemist he spent a bit of his gold. I'm not sure what is being delivered to him just yet. It's going to be a Hand of Midas on Sylar. So we're 4 minutes in. He's almost, after he lasted this entire wave, he's going to have his Midas. So this is definitely one of the earliest Midas timing I've seen in a professional game. As I say, that's how I'm missing a couple CS. So hopefully he can
Ice went for boost first, too.
Wow.
That's aggressive.
Well, he's going to be aggressively going right on Yao under the tower. Here comes the link up the balls right on Yao's face. He doesn't like that, but he's running away. 2 charges on the stick, and is he going to make it out alive? No, he does not. First blood goes to Ice. So he's definitely not going to be going back to a Hand of Midas. He's going to be pressuring this tower and going for things like quick treads.
I feel like without the boost, he wouldn't have killed him there.
Yeah, definitely, that was a great pickup. Of course, the Tether getting the 20% speed boost is very, very helpful.
And those balls to the face.
Yeah. Well, they do slow. They do slow, and this tier 1 tower will be taking a ton of damage. Might be even going down. Now the power shot's going to come through. I mean, for a Windrunner, you expect to give away that first kill, and the fact that you're already level 4.5, I still think that, you know, she's not doing too bad.
That actually puts Naga Siren ahead of net worth on top of Sylar. Actually, Sylar just picked up his Midas, but
and
right before it.
Used it. Yeah, he just used it.
Okay, so. He was just ahead. He was just behind the Naga Siren, but Naga Siren is now 200 gold, or actually 150 gold behind. And it looks like they're going to put a lot of pressure on this T1 tower right now. There's no one there to stop it. I feel like they might just be able to take it.
Yeah, there's no teleport scroll on any of the 3 heroes. Of the 3, I've checked the Wisp, I checked the Keeper of Light, and more importantly, I checked the
Zenith
Lifestealer.
does not care.
Yeah, well, Zenith says maybe we could pressure a tower. No, Windrunner on the top lane, he's getting level 5, so I feel like...
I think they could just rotate with Keeper of the Light, though. He has his he has his boots of speed. I feel like he could just illuminate there. Sure, it might get Carapace once, but at least it will repel
He
the
is
push.
rotating right now. Teleport Scroll is flying in, and he's going to be getting
too late, I think.
Yeah,
though.
it is too late because Tower is already suffering a ton of damage. Here comes one Illuminate. They lift him up, and they will stun him. You're not going to get a kill, or will you? Because Skylar is going to come through with the stun, the Mana Burn, and there's one kill. So a TP Scroll down the drain. That's a really expensive 135 goal in the early game. DDC is going to take a little bit of Tower Flag.
Zenith was just too slow about reacting to that. They already had the ward placed down right here.
Yep.
They saw him TP to the T2 and just played up aggressively. I feel like if he were there earlier and channeled from maybe over here or over here, like some sneaky supports do, and then not let them play super aggressively, this tower wouldn't fall so fast.
Yeah, well, XY is going to rotate down, but Tower is already sustaining a ton of damage. LGD will back off as a result. They're not going to really force this. It will just waste.
This Nags is dirt poor.
Yeah, this is why I really dislike Jungle Lifestealer. We're 6 minutes in. He's level 4. A well-played Lifestealer on the long lane will have phase by now. Like, because he's not going to die. He could easily zone away these two particular support. But for now, you know, LG, very ironically, very rarely winning the early game.
Yes, but we still have to consider the Wisp factor, and I think that when he hits level 6 is going to be a big turning point in the game. I think Zenith will turn up their aggression, or at least they will with the Wisp and a couple of the other heroes.
Yeah, and of course, Puck is going to be making a gank very soon. Back to the fountain right now, getting a pick. Probably going to pick up a Magic Wand and his Teleport Scroll too. The big thing is, where's he actually going to gank? Probably the top lane is an easier gank when you have the Naga, you know, helping you to ensnare. A little bit of de-warding happening from Zen as well. No, Yamate is going to TP right on the mid lane and try to lane control Xiaowei. Xiaowei already Arcane Boots up and saving for that quick blink.
It seems like Yamata is actually a little bit under-farmed. The Xiao 8 already has his Arcane Boots, and Yamata does not even has his Power
He's
Treads
down by
yet.
5 CS, well now 3.
Yeah, I feel like Puck actually has a fairly... He should win that matchup pretty favorably. You just phase shift all the shockwaves like most professional players should be able to do, and just constantly spam your right click on them. He even got a haste rune too, because the Lifestealer was checking the top. So I feel like Yamata is underperforming in this matchup.
Yeah, in the matchup, and generally you expect Yamata to dominate most mid lane in a 1v1 matchup. He's definitely not doing it here. And again, I just want to point out that LGD, in my opinion, still has the better late game potential. You talked about the better mid game team fight for Zenith, and I totally agree. But double BKB or triple BKB, even possibly for LGD, and then there's very, very little that Zenith can do about it. Now, Song of Siren for mid game team fight is completely OP. Great against the Magnus as well. So we'll see how things go, but here comes the tier 1
Ice has 2,700 gold.
Is he going for straight Radiance?
I believe it is.
I do want to point out that this reminds me of a game being played by ggnetgodz versus Navi back in the DreamHack quarters, where AEI just, I don't want to say rushed because he got it very late, but he got a Radiance first on the Naga Siren, and it's probably one of the most annoying things that you could ever deal with, because we say anti-mage split push is annoying. We say a Prophet with Shadow Blade split push is annoying. Naga Siren sending a Radiance illusion in every single lane. That is the most annoying thing.
And then, not to mention the sleep TP.
Yeah, the sleep TPs are there. It is just impossible to deal with. And, well, Ice with the Quelling Blade first, with the first blood going to him, he's going to have it in good time.
I feel like this is a really risky move, though, considering Alchemist does have a minus. If he gets a Shadow Blade before the Radiance comes out, he might just die a couple times, and it might delay it like 5 or 6 minutes. Not to mention the almost level 6 Nixus has, and I feel like either of these can just wipe Naga Siren out.
Well, Naga Siren definitely not tanky early on, and if you want to check on the Shadow Blade timing, Alchemist already 2,000 gold in the bank after treads, after that Midas. He is farming his pants off. Nyx Assassin level 6. Oh, he's going to need like 2 more jungle camps. These supports are getting way too many levels.
Look at this. Look at Yao on top. He's actually sniping this creep pool from Zenith. I feel like they should have the upper hand in this. They have 3 heroes up there, but allowing her to take 2 of the big creeps and deny some of the farm in the meantime, that just should not happen.
Yeah, I mean that's the downside of using, you know, very, very weak zoning supports such as Wisp. Speaking of that, Wisp is level 6 so far. I mean, what are you going to do? TP your Kato into a gank? It's just...
They can't TP Ice as when he goes his build, though. That is the only problem.
So I kind of question, if you want to go for this late game oriented Naga Siren build, why even pick the Wisp?
I definitely agree with you there. Ice, or I mean, I don't know if it's their build that's a problem or the hero trap, but regardless, most of the times when we see Wisp, we see him in a very aggressive playstyle. But again, you can do some sort of saving potential with him. If you see someone in trouble, you just relocate and try and bounce them out of the fight. But again, I don't think that's where Wisp's strength lies. But Zenith may prove us wrong.
I personally do believe that Wisp is a
there's a Shadow Blade.
play.
That
so
is scary.
10.5 minute Midas stretch Shadow Blade here from Sylar, proving that he is amongst one of the best farmers in the world. But going back to my point, I feel like Wisp is definitely one of the more insane farming supports out there. Not the fact he could farm. He could make your carry farm all day, every day, because he could always give him the Spectre ability, TPing him into the team fight. So, again, it's a very defensive Wisp, and I agree with you that I don't think this is probably the best usage of Wisp, but that's gonna be how they're playing it right now. So.
And XY just seems really useless right now. Usually Life Stealers just dominate this early game if they're given the correct space, but I don't feel like they set up this early game for a win for them. This Alchemist is just massive.
Yeah. Meanwhile, it looks like we do have
He just died. I was watching about it. It was just a Chemical Rage into Unstable Concoction, Shadow Blade, whack, whack, whack. He's dead. He's just so underfarmed at this point. Having to go treads instead of phase boots too.
Yeah, I was busily watching Curry delivering that Sacred Relic, and Sylar not only picking up a ton of items and picking up a ton of kills, or at least 1 kill right now, working on a tier 2 tower. This is... There's just no one stopping Sylar, and the person who tried to stop him, XY, just died because of it. And Sylar will still keep staying here. Unfortunately, he is not using that Midas, and it's just like prickling my heart a little bit here, seeing that Midas just like not on cooldown.
Cha-ching!
Yeah, there you go. 190 gold in the pockets and farming away. And of course, because both teams are free farming, Magnus is going to have a Blink Dagger right now if he wants to spend the gold on it. And he definitely will. Yamate, he's nowhere. Yamate is losing this mid lane so badly.
Yeah, it's a little heartbreaking to see. He's 1,100 gold behind in net worth. So Magnus has 4,500 net worth. Puck less than 3,500, so he's over 1,000 gold difference behind. I don't think that should happen, considering how little that mid contest was. Usually, I think Puck has advantage because he can just phase, shift, and elusive orb out if he gets in any trouble. But again, uninterfered, I feel that the range hero in most range versus mag matchups should have the huge upper hand. There is a payload inside of him, though.
Well, yeah, here we go. They're going to go right on DD, but there is a backup of Magnus, or no, he's already... I saw him very near that tier 1 tower, but he's going back to the base as a full HP. Perhaps he was... Why is he actually going back? He's got everything ready to go. Maybe he's going to be thinking of teleporting into a jump. He buys a smoke of the seat as well. He's looking to gank very actively. Yao on the top lane, I mean, we talked about the other lanes giving away so much to get a farm Magnus, to get a farm... Sylar, look at Yao. He's got almost mech up as an off-lane windrunner. I mean, Zenith is giving away so much.
Boots.
Yeah,
wow.
and phase boots. Like, they're giving away so much, and do you think what they got in return, which is a farm Naga, is that enough to warrant all of this?
I don't think so. I don't think the Radiance is particularly that good of a pickup versus the Alchemist. Is great versus all the other heroes, but the Alchemist will just be able to just whack him away, especially with the amount of farm that he has. I think that, we see an RP behind.
And, well, Ice is going to be dead as well. And that's going to be a kill going towards that Magnus. I mean, in a very, very slow and passive game like this, using those one-man RPs, yeah, go for it here. And Sylar is going to be Midasing away, and they're going to be taking this tier 2 tower as well. So very, very good gank. And again, I'm not really sure whether I like where Zenith is going with this game.
Yeah, you talked about how level 6 Wisp, or how Wisp hit level 6 a while ago. He's still level 6.
Yeah.
And they're just trying to pull camps. Again, they're just waiting for this Radiance so they can take a fight. 1330 gold on the Naga Siren, so we should see that Radiance pick up any second now.
Unfortunately, Yao gets outlasted by a range creep. You know, he could get a 10-minute Midas and Shadow Play, but range creep's still stronger.
So Alchemist almost putting pressure on the T3. Ice forced to stay up his base right now. It's just a scary life for everybody on the team. Not even the Naga Siren is safe from the amazing burst potential of a lot of LGD's heroes. And now that we see level 7 on Nyx Assassin, level 6 on the Rubik, they are going to try and look to make something happen. But the Naga Siren just picked up a Radiant, so she won't be in too much danger there. I don't think that hopefully she won't die at this point, but she's actually going for Soul Ring next. She's going to be so squishy.
Yeah, this is actually the exact same build that we saw out of Zenith, who I do believe played a Naga solo mid yesterday, which is Radiance first on the mid lane, got the bottle obviously, and then went back for the Soul Ring. You do spend a ton of mana because all you do is, you know, mirror image and then send everything to different lanes, and then you even Riptide. So having the infinite mana being provided by Soul Ring is pretty nice. And again, this is Well, I think we're gonna. This is like what LGD versus Orange Part 2, where you
Right.
just see nothing but farming. But I feel like LGD, once they feel like they have enough of a lead, and you see the 4 people grouping back up top, yeah, they're getting ready to pick up kills. And RP, it's back up right now. So
Ice, I hope he skates back. He looks like he's very aware of the situation that's going on right now.
meanwhile, mid lane here picking up a kill against Sylar. Central gets deployed here, and everybody on top of him. So LG says, man, gave away a kill on the mid lane. Can't do too much about it. Let's force a tower up on top lane. They kind of know where he is, or does he? Ice is...
I like the awareness from Ice. He noticed that no one was in mid to back up the Alchemist, and immediately the alarms goes off in his head, and he backs away. He was sitting up here above the T1, but knowing that he's not safe even there, it's a wise idea to back off all the way to base.
So one thing I've been pointing out a ton about LGD is that they don't want to give away towers. Sylar just bought back just to defend the tier 1 mid, and of course they're not just defending the tier 1 mid, they're getting something in return as well as the tier 1 top, and we're going to see a Fury of teleportation going back to the mid tier 1 tower to defend that as well.
I feel like they could have taken the top fight. I feel like they could have TP'd in with the Naga, slept, get everyone to TP in, and including the Wisp, and just turned on them there, because they just saw Sylar back, they just saw him TP middle to defend the tower, but they didn't punish him for it.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely have enough mobility when you have Wisp and of course, Naga to set up every single TP. Here comes the Naga illusion. He's going to scout out Xiao A little bit. Those illusions, what we saw from yesterday a ton is that they could actually chase down a ton of hero and do a ton of damage. Yeah, Xiao A is actually down to about half HP thanks to this one Naga illusion chasing him in. They do a ton of damage, and we'll definitely see that throughout this game.
I feel like LGD can't really push right now. They have to deal with the Naga, constant illusion spam with the Radiance. They have to deal with the Cupid of the Light. They have to deal with a long-range illusory orb, and it looks like they will back off. There is almost no chance they can take down this T1 tower safely.
So that's definitely going to be an issue.
We see another payload inside Ice.
That is going to be definitely a huge issue, right? Because LG, to me, they have the stronger kind of heroes right now in terms of farm and items. But they definitely can't really use it to their advantage. They can't really push down these tier 1 towers. They definitely can take a Roshan fight. They are ganking very well with the rotation of Xiao A and the rest of the team, but really, you want to gank into towers, and because they have so many ways to defend these towers, it's going to be absolutely impossible to do.
Alchemist is going to be ridiculously large, though. He already has his Hyperstone and 700 gold, even after the buyback in middle.
He's still
so
leading
scary.
by 3,000 net worth on the Naga Siren, who will be picking up her own farm rate in just a bit, but So Curious is being delivered right now. No, just a plate mail. So it's, yeah, like you said, it's going to be hard to compete against this guy in terms of farm, and now he's slowly taking a couple points into Unstable Concoction. And what is the rest of Zenith doing? They're just chilling in the mid lane.
Yep, they don't really want to lose any more towers right now. The T3 is pretty much safe on bottom just because it would just be crazy for LG to take that tower right now. I don't think that Alchemist is nearly stacked enough, although it looks like they may try and pick up XY. XY does not even have his armlet yet, so Treads, Stout Shield, and 2 pieces of his armlet right now. And again, Zenith, I think they could have died a lot more. They only lost one. Ooh, look, DDC in middle.
Yeah, we're trying to pick off Freedom here. Freedom is kind of right next to
What
those
kind of
trees.
blink was that?
Oh, it's going to
be...
the
RB dodge!
No, but back in the bot lane here as Freedom gets picked up, and the rest of the team just going to get melted here. Ice comes in, buyback coming from Yamate as well. DDC trying to TP out, and the Solemn Siren just to use it to cancel. DDC is going to go down as a result. Did you see a RP whiff? I was not watching.
I saw the RP whiff. I don't know what Yamate was doing. He blinked maybe like 300 range just so he could silence the creeps. Oh.
No, he's going to go for DD right now. DD 2 more hit away from death. Blink secure backward from Yamate. And what a freaking hackle shot. Yamate is going to go down the Nyx as well.
That was ridiculous.
Wrong place, wrong time. Silo TP on the top lane before all of that happened. And he's going to come down to mid to deny this particular tower, I think. Yeah, he's going to get a tower denied unless Lifestealer wants to do some crazy heroics. So everything worked out for the best as tier 1 tower got denied. Yamate forced to buyback and die. And of course, the rest of the team kind of got picked off here and there. I do believe the Wisp got picked off, and perhaps the Keeper got picked off as well.
Yeah, so the other side of the fight, yeah, Yamata blinked like 300 range into the creeps and then immediately used his silence. It was a little bit strange to me. He was right outside his T1. They didn't have sentries. Nyx could have easily jumped him there, but now Zenith have wisened up a little bit. They placed a sentry behind the tower because that is exactly where the Nyx initiated from last time. Again, I feel like they're always one step behind in what they actually need to do. You need to have sentries before the Nyx gank, not after it happens. You need to be at the T1 tower before they're pushing, not already behind your tower playing super aggressively with that ward down. Zenith seems like they're just not experienced. Maybe that 4 out of 10 on the Hexagon was correct.
Well, Sylar says, I don't care you have Illuminate, I don't care you have all these nukes, I'm going to just go right on your tier 1 tower and force out a glyph at the very least. Here comes a blinding light. That's going to be somewhat annoying, but Sylar with that chemical rage regen, and here we go, they're going to go right on top, blink back out. I do believe Sylar might stun himself as a result. Got to be very careful. Xiaoye blinks back in, gets silenced here by Puck, and they will go back up and reset. They will not push the tier 2 because the creep will be on very close to their towers. And again, one thing that LGD is so good at is not giving anything up for free.
Indeed, and checking the XP graph right now, 5,000 in favor of LGD, and the gold graph is 7,500 in favor of LGD. Again, this Alchemist is just getting more and more items. I guess there may be a problem where he gets 6 slotted too soon.
I don't think that's a problem. If you get 6
I've
slotted,
seen that be a problem before.
Yeah, I do believe Rattlesnake lost a game where they got 6 slotted on the Alchemist and eventually like kind of kept dragging the game out and out and out. I don't think LGD will make that mistake. They're just too experienced to do those kind of silly errors. BKB is up, or soon to be up, on Magnus, and I keep saying BKB because that's going to be one of the big issues. They do see Yamate walking straight up the hill. They also saw the Lifestealer infest because of Observer. These 2 deep Observer wards, right, particularly here, and they know the rotation is coming in into the jungle, and let's see what they will do about it. Sylar Teleport Scroll is back up. He is working towards his own BKB as well. Once the BKB is up, I do believe LGD is starting to look at, you know, maybe even basing.
See, look, they're wising up. Definitely have this Sentry Ward. They're ready for DDC. I think they might have seen him coming. I'm not sure.
Well, we'll see. Yeah, it's going to be somewhat isolated. Blink RP. Well, the song, there you go. We talked about a song using it just to kind of disengage, and now suddenly these 2 here are slightly out of position and focus on DDC. One man, Dreamcore, that's really a big whiff. Ice gets 3 hit by Sylar. Sylar is just a man going to work. XY gets lifted. He's going to go down very easily to Sylar. Yamate buys back a second time. No, he doesn't buy back out. He was in a fight. Now he TBs back out. He's going to be fine. Sylar did go down. Did he buy back? No, he didn't. And it's going to be a Zenith victory. The rest of the team got bursted down. I'm not sure how that happened. Probably thanks to Illuminate.
That was a nice counter initiating by Yamata, and that Illuminate did hit on them right after his sleep.
So Dreamcore only hit on 1, right?
Yeah, but he did a lot of burst damage into
with the rest of his spells?
Right.
Okay.
But still, that I definitely expected that to go a little bit worse, but Naga's position was very, very good, able to sleep right after that. I feel like they blew, like they were a little bit uncoordinated about it. Like Lifestealer blew his rage and he died because he raged during the sleep. But again, still a team fight win for Zenith. This is big for them. They can finally take a T1, start and take control a little bit of this mid game, and they've been in a defensive position for most of the time. LGD constantly sieging their towers, trying to find picks with their 2 invisibility heroes, and being successful up until now.
DDC was forced away by Shackle shot back out here as he's looking for a little bit more.
Oh, they didn't get the tower.
They don't even get the tower. Also, Nagasai he bought back in that team fight because he got bursted down early. So this goes back to the thing that you talked about earlier about DD getting surrounded by 3 illusions, body blocking from a Naga illusions. He now running to the right. Is there a mech? There is a mech up, and look at how much, and the Riptide for the kill. We've seen this movie a billion times, and it's the Naga Radiance illusions just doing so much killing. But my point was Naga died and bought back in a team fight, but it goes back to your say about how the Dire is just so much better during mid-game team fight. Song of Siren used to disengage against Magnus. That RP is really even better as a counter initiation tool. You can't really initiate it with
And
RP.
now that Magnus has BKB, he actually may potentially die during a Song of Siren.
Right.
If he BKBs and then blinks RPs and he's the only one left alive, they're just going to net and focus him down. And that's going to instantly be a 4-on-5 fight with no RP. Things are looking a little bit hairy for LGD if they keep continuing to initiate like that. But they do have this stacked Alchemist to worry about. If he's alive and whacking away with Empower and BKB, is going to just be insane how much damage he puts out.
Yeah, to be fair, they do have a couple ways to deal with him. Locking him down during the BKB with bashes. Eventually, they will pick them up. You can net through the BKB. You could song. You could use open wound. So, you know, Alchemist is, no matter how farm he is, at the end of the day, he is going to be a melee hero, and he can be kited fairly easily if you have enough force staffs. But I think Zenith right now very, very behind in terms of items. Let's quickly check out that gold graph. 75,000 goalie here for Xiao 8 and the rest of his team.
They lack a lot of survivability, and I think they have the farm for it, but the item choices are just a little bit strange. EO, for example, getting arcane boots when you're not really fighting early, I don't think that's that useful. I think a mech is much, much better for team fights. Also, no drums either on the Life Sealer or the Naga Siren. I feel like drums is a fantastic pickup that HP will usually get save you from a death, and that attack speed of Musi may just be what they need to win these early fights.
So you see Zenith smoking up right now, and I do believe this is a fairly poor smoke because the tier 2 tower getting siege on the mid lane, now getting blasted by some Illuminate coming out of nowhere. They should have a good idea that the enemy team is smoked up, and as a result, LGD very much grouped up. They see Naga illusions, and they will have to burst it down because you cannot leave those illusions walking around.
Yeah, they're doing a fantastic job of scouting LGD and not being caught with their pants down. Looks like they are trying to initiate on them right now. There is an infested Nyx inside the puck.
Illuminate is going to clash on a couple
Oh, they're
of
TPing
heroes.
out!
Oh no, they're going to focus right on DDC. DDC, where's your Spike Carapace? Using it just on the last minute. X-Freedom, a little bit trouble as well. Here comes the Life Stream trying to focus. BKB is going to be used. Skewer back in. RP, is it going to be a one-man RP? That's a question. No RP being dropped just yet. Very, very big cluster fight. Here comes the big bad Sylar RP being used and trying to TP out Freedom. Is he going to rescue his ally? No, he will not. Ice is going to be on the edge of team fight as well. The chasing X Freedom. Dust is being used. Dust does apply a 10% slow against invisible unit now. All stun, skewer, blink, anything against Ice. Getting some mana back. Where's the Song? No, already using this team fight. Ice down to about half HP, a quarter. He's going to be dead as well. Buys a Ultimate Orb before dying, but in this team fight where you don't really get a good Song of Siren off, or where you don't burst down a couple heroes immediately, they just don't have enough items to take an extended team fight. Like you said, they don't have enough tank.
That was such a strange fight. The positioning at the very start was awkward. There was Alchemist right here. There was the Magnus with BKB over here.
Yeah.
And the Naga Siren just slept the Alchemist and the Magnus while they try to pick someone off. The thing about it was he actually used Song of the Siren to cancel the Alchemist TP. And I feel that if Alchemist just TP'd away,
let
they
him
would just
TP
straight
away.
up won
Yeah,
the fight
let him
after that.
TP away and be like, okay, well, it's a 4v5 now.
Right,
So,
and I think they could have backed off to a little bit earlier after the Nyx fell, but regardless, not a terrible team fight either way, and they did blow a couple of BKBs on the side of LGD. These BKBs are pretty instrumental in them winning a fight. I also think that LGD really needs to take out Roshan soon. They have the Alchemist, who has a lot of minus armor. He has -5 from the AC, -6 from the acid spray, and
he could tank it. He could burst it down.
he could pretty much solo it.
Yeah.
They don't have any sentries around, and I think that he can just man mode inside of them. And sure, if you want to start on a Siren, whatever, we'll just stay in the very far back with our Magnets, or just BKB and blink in and RP and counter initiate, as you say. I think that's the key point here. If they use RP really early in the fight and without getting the Naga Siren and bursting her down, I think that things will go pretty far south for LGD. But if they can use RP a little bit later in the fight or just pick her up before she uses it, they're very well set up to win a fight.
Looks like they're getting ready here to set up a smoke gank, going all the way up south, up top here. Sylar going to be scouted by this particular observer, where it's going to be a pickoff attempt here. One-man RP against XY. Can they burst him down? Shackle shot, and every single stun and nuke being dropped on top of him. That's a free pickup back in the middle here. Sylar kind of tangled up. Everybody's going to kill all of these illusions. No problem. Sylar says, you want some? I'm going to give you some to the face. The stun, the BKB being used, the Link trying to TP him back out, and the overcharge being used, giving you a little bit more. Oh, RP. No RP. Just use the skewer, and Shockwave's going to get the kill. Ice is going to be on the run. Blinding Light coming back very soon. We'll be using it. Can he walk up? A little bit of body blocking. BKB is going to be used as well. Ice is going to get stunned up here. Puck on the run as well. Are they going to chase in? They don't really need to. They can just back off and get that tier 2, and that's exactly what they're going to go for. 38 seconds left till Naga comes back alive, and I don't think Naga will come back in time to defend this tier 2.
Look how strong Sylar is right now. He just dove the T2
By
much by himself, picked off the Naga, and was ready to almost go for more too. He is so farmed right now. 19,500 gold, even when Naga Siren rushes Radiance. This is just the pure, sheer farming power of Alchemist showcased here.
It's not like he's been just AFK farming. He's been pushing with his allies. He's been defending every single tower.
He's even bought back.
Yeah, he bought back to defend that tier 1 mid, right? Like, this is not... Again, it just surprised me how much these Chinese players could farm sometimes when you give him the time and opening to do so. Granted, he is an Alchemist. He does have Empower Beam. Granted, they want to gank and TP him top. Do you have detection? That's the question here. Oh, Lifestealer is not going to get his Infest damage off. They are going to go on Sylar. And it looks like his Chemical Rage ran out in time. BKB's gonna get pop, and well, you force a BKB charge, you force a couple of TP rotations. Are you gonna lose anything? XY, no rage, and Yao is looking for Staff Shackle, not gonna latch here, still looking for more. He's far away from home, he's far away from any ally TP. I do believe, yeah, there's gonna be a rage TP, and that should be it.
So I thought that they were going to kill Alchemist, but his BKB just came off cooldown. What
But that's
an
another
opportune
BKB
time.
charge, so
Look at all these illusions out from Ice Ice Ice. Oh my goodness.
yeah, this is actually going to be an issue. You talked about the early game defense coming out from the Nagas, coming out from the Illuminate and the Orbs and all that stuff. Mid game, late game, split push again. We seen Orange succumbing to LGD split push yesterday multiple times. It's got to be very annoying for LG to deal with.
Yeah, the only problem is I feel like they can just straight up 5-man barrel through mid or just 5-man take out Roshan, not really care about defending their T2s and just straight up win the game right now.
Well,
I think they're strong enough to do that.
maybe that's what they're doing right now, but the bot lane going to get slowly pushed down by these Naga illusions. And again, LG says, guys, tier 2 under siege, maybe we TP back. That's what they did all day yesterday, right? One of that long game, and in fact, no surprise there when run TPs to defend the tower. I'm not saying it's bad to defend your tier 2 towers, and in fact, I do believe these are the correct moves to do so. So what LG, the only way they could really kind of accelerate the game in the direction that they want to go is to look for pickoff. And it's going to be somewhat difficult to find those pickoff against the Wisp, against the Naga Siren.
The thing is, I think that Alchemist is so farmed at this point, he can just man mode on the tower with Empower and just whack on it. And Zenith is going to be forced to react when your T3 is under siege. And I think the trade-off of taking a little bit damage on your towers is perfectly okay. They can just do Roshan, just man mode on the tower, and sacrifice a fair amount of cooldowns and gold for the change. I think that Zenith at this point, they are getting almost ahead in terms of items right now. The gold graph has slightly stopped going in favor of LGD so much, but again, Alchemist is being close to being 6 stacked. He can sell his Midas soon, but if he wants room for an Aegis, he's going to be hard pressed to find more item slots. XY.
Yeah, let's see if he's gonna rage shot this one. He barely, but they do lose a courier. Blink RP was being used on.
Wow, that whiff. I don't know where he used it, but I see it on cooldown right now.
Yeah.
That is a refresher orb. He is just 600 gold away. That is so scary.
Well, when you whiff RPs, you sometimes. Xiao is actually.
I guess we have to go farm, guys.
I mean, he's always like landing 3-4 man RP. These past 2 days, if you guys remember from yesterday, where he just RP one person in the forest, his RPs has not been impressive, at least in the past 2 days. But he generally is very, very good. LGD defending those tier 2s, and of course Naga says I'm doing my best anti-mage impression as he is setting those illusions everywhere.
They don't even hurt Alchemist though. He's just bats
they
them
hurt
off
the
like
creeps.
flies.
They hurt the creeps, and Alchemist can't be everywhere.
Well, he just ran right over Sentry. I'm pretty sure they know exactly where he is right now. Puck is sitting inside. Ooh.
He's gonna blink back out, and
he has a Scythe of Ice. Wow, he had a very nice bounce back from that. Rather.
Well, it is a 32-minute scythe.
Yeah, that's not bad.
In a very slow farming game.
I feel like that he was under a lot of pressure though, from the Nyx Assassin,
Sure.
from the potential of solo RPs, from the potential of a Alchemist gank before he had his gem. But I think he's recovered quite nicely. Are they going to contest this? That is a real question.
Yeah, you talked about the Roshan possibility. I'm not sure whether they could do it because Song of Siren could easily disengage. You could steal the Aegis as well, but here we go. They go in right now. Who picks up the Aegis? Song it up. The Aegis is on the ground, but the Blink BKB being used. Who the hell's picking up? Nobody picked it up for 5 seconds. Puck gets hacked. This is why you cannot Roshan against the Naga Siren team, but it looks like they are going to get Wisp at the very least. That should be it, right? Everybody disengage.
Yamata seemed like he was waiting for something. I think he might have been waiting for the blink.
He forgot to drop the TP.
Yeah, it looked like he might have been trying to bait something in. The Magnus blinked in with his BKB, immune to the Song of Siren, tried to take it, but right before it, Yamata picked it up. Whether it was because he forgot to drop his TP or tactical play, we may never know, but regardless, Zenith does get the Aegis and the Roshan. That was huge for them. Now they can delay the game a little bit longer, and I feel like the later and later, again, like the 45+ mark, Zenith may have the edge. Even though Sylar is ridiculously stacked right now, they can somewhat kite him. They can just net him during the BKB and then sleep him otherwise, and then try and just keep him in place with Dream Coil, with open wounds, and try and kill all his other teammates. But they have double RP to deal with. It's going to be very, very scary for Zenith.
So one thing that you talked about how Sylar could go straight down the mid lane with the rest of the team and just force a Rax fight. I would agree with that if they had the Aegis. I really don't think they could do it with that one, simply because you talked about many ways to kind of slow him down with things like nets or stuns and all that stuff. And after his chemical rage runs out, he's just really not the same hero. And I really think when you
I mean, with these items though, are you really scared of him not in BKB or not in chemical rage?
That's fair. It's still really strong.
But he has some power though too. You can't ever forget about that.
That's true.
He is massive.
But if they wait out the chemical rage or BKB with things like Song, Net, and all that stuff, that's when they have a fighting chance. And I think that's why LGD is not confident enough to make that play that you're suggesting. And now with the Aegis ending up on Puck, I really think that Zenith or maybe LGD has made a horrible mistake.
Yeah, they are going to be under constant siege from these Naga Siren illusions, and I don't know if they're going to get the opportunity to push out. But the thing is, I think they can just straight up take him in a man fight right now. Nax is pretty much just a non-factor compared to Siren.
He really is.
He can't just walk up and man mode him like we see a lot of Life Stealers do. Not when the farm deficit he has 7188 net worth compared to 23,000, so over 3 times the net worth.
For its worth, I believe XY is building the correct item here. He is going to be going for Heaven's Halberg, and against the BKB, that's actually going down duration. It's not too bad. Sylar does have his Abyssal Bay flinch, but these Naga illusions.
Oh, they see the Puck from behind though. Are they going to engage? They are only 3 strong right now.
Well, 3 strong with Alchemist, so maybe like 6 strong. Alchemist running out his chemical rage for a couple seconds here. Yamate, like, he thinks he's immortal, and he really is because he got the Aegis, but XY inside isn't, so maybe XY.
They're just looking for a quick pick off. They can't even kill the Alchemist though, and definitely not in a sheep duration.
Yeah.
Maybe if he were more farmed, and maybe if they could chain Abyssal after it, but Nax is going to be a long ways away from finding those items.
Yeah, I mean, he's been sitting inside Yamate for such a long duration. This is like the 4th or 5th time I've seen this kind of play from both XY and Yamate, and I think they're kind of losing farm as a result.
The split push is pretty good though. I feel like they might as well even use relocate as just split push. Like if they see all Z in the top and Naga's not on bottom, they can just relocate, dump Naga down there, and split push in the process. She can always just TP back, but
she don't even. All she needs is make a couple illusions.
She has a heart right now. Wow.
So I mean, I don't think the heart is enough.
She has no buyback. This is going to be a fight. It looks like.
Well, I think they could give away that tier 2, and I really don't think they should fight over it. Sylar is going to be popping his ultimate.
They're in position to defend right now, though.
No.
Oh wait, no. Puck does not have. They have recall. We'll see.
Well, I mean, it's okay. I really don't think that Zenith wants to take a fight.
There's a TP back right now.
And Puck's
this is the perfect time for them to fight. I think that Ice, after seeing that TP, should just blindly Song the Siren. It's only 60-second cooldown, but looks like they will not take advantage of that. Again, Zenith should be capitalizing on LGD's mistakes. I think they've made a couple mistakes with the Alchemist TPing out early. I think they could completely take advantage of that, especially with Song of the Siren, especially since LGD's playstyle is so predictable. They push down towers safely, and then they go to defend towers if it's under pressure. They rarely commit to a T3 push this early, and they really need to punish them for this.
Ooh, Puck, as well as Lifestealer being dropped out here. Carrier comes to Xiaowei to the right side. He's going to get silenced. He's going to get Hex. And XY says, oh, I can't deal with this RP. That's going to have to hit for sure. And are they going to double RP? That's the question. They have the refresher. Looks like he just refreshed. Second RP. Not going to be used right now. XY. Oh, he's going to finally go down. Armlet toggle for his Wharf. Yamate trying to go to the right side. He gets stunned. And the second RP is going to get deployed. The power shot, the lift, everything. Yamate will die. Will he die a second time? That's a question. How good are these impales? DDC is not going to fire through. Shackle as well is going to miss. And they will go down to the right side. Oh, here comes the Encircle. Yamate blinks. I have no idea how he got there.
Recall.
No, he got recalled out.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he blinked and then orbed.
He orbed and blinked and then went.
Nice escape there. I mean, you might as well just use the Aegis. I was very surprised he didn't die twice there. I think they could have done it with a very nicely timed impale right as soon as he came out. But regardless, he will escape with his life. And only the Aegis the Immortal down. Roshan respawning in 5 minutes time.
So back to your question of why Zenith is not really taking these fights. I think it goes back to the comment that you made previously, is that if this game goes long enough and late enough, I really think they could actually outclass this Alchemist. Like you said, he's already kind of almost 6-slotted, very soon to be 6-slotted. And really, as a melee hero, he doesn't have too much room for growth. And if you look at the rest of the team, sure, these are not the best late game heroes. Naga, I mean, she still has a couple of slots left. Puck could actually do a ton of DPS lately, or in the late game if you pick up the correct items. And Lifestealer, sure, he doesn't have great farm. You could just add to it by getting up a Heaven's Halberd, maybe even pick up yet another kind of, I don't know, whether a Basher or maybe even MKB to provide a little bit better lockdown for the rest of the team. In any case, they have a lot more room for growth. and I think LGD is already peaking out. I think LGD needs to do something now.
I guess that's one good part about getting owned in the mid game. You have a lot of room to grow.
Well, that's always a way to look at it, sure.
So LGD 17,000 gold lead right now. Alchemist has swapped out his Midas for a boost of travel. So he actually is technically 6-slotted, although I'm pretty sure he will sell his treads very shortly. Definitely has enough to buy back and TP into the fight. And with that chemical rage on pretty short cooldown, that might as well just be a free Aegis on him.
Right, but the thing is, there's up by what 17,000 gold, like you said.
It doesn't feel like it.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like it at all. The creep equilibrium's constantly on the left side of the map on LG's territory. I just actually don't see how LGD could win if the Zenith team don't make a mistake. Here's a couple of ways I could try. We talked about the gate basically spiral down the mid lane and just go for the win. I don't think you could do that.
I think the longer you wait, though, the worse off it is for them.
Exactly. Secondly, you can't go for a successful Roshan fight. We just saw what happened last time. You go for Rosh, they sleep you, and they take your Aegis. So, unless you BKB at the right moment. That's definitely a way to get around that, but your BKB charges are very precious, and it's actually all down to, what, 4 seconds? Magnus is still at 6, but Sylar is definitely down to 4. So what does LGD do now to win? And we're asking this question again when they're up by 16,000 gold.
Ooh, looks like Zenith is trying to... Ooh, what a
in big trouble. He gets netted. He gets forced that back out. He does have BKB. Will not be employing it just right now, and these illusions doing some work. Again, look at that. They burn about 30 to 40%, 30% of Xiaohui's HP. Looks like these two... Someone caught out on the right side. DDC is looking for some kills, though. There is a gem available on Puck, and that's why they saw these.
Yeah, the longer they can delay, the better it is for Zenith. Look at DD's HP right now. Oh my goodness. He's at 440 HP, and I think they just mech'd him up, too.
Well, the illusions are on cooldown for about 20 seconds, and I do believe this is the time for the rest of the team to go. Nobody's actually defending the base. They will be looking for a big backstab, and, well, they do have Silent Siren to get a backstab. One person TP up top. It's going to be Icy. We'll be recalling some. Illuminate as well as Blinding Light is going to be a good way to defend. Meanwhile, if you look at the two of the team, Zenith, they don't even care about the base, at least not for now. Mana Leak on Sylar, blowing down the crew wave. Here comes a Glyph, and I talked about the delay tactic they have on Tai comes out, Illusions being sent, and they're going to go right on the two backline on the supports. Net's going to get dropped on Sylar. Unfortunately, he's still right-clicking on the base. They are going to lose a tier 3 tower finally. Tier 2 being siege upon on the bot, and Sylar says, man, I'm going to just go. I think they're trying to wait out the Alchemist Rage duration, and it's going to be out right now. Do you fight? That's the question.
That was the perfect time to do so.
It really was, and they don't go for it. They traded a tier 3 for a tier 2, which I don't think that's too bad for Zenith.
I mean, they did it without the Aegis. Why didn't they just do that 10 minutes ago? It was so easy.
I really think it's because the illusions was on cooldown on Naga Siren.
Yeah.
She sent all the illusions in at the same time, and they all kind of just died. I really think that your illusions micro has to be somewhat more careful. And since then, she's been sending them one at a time on that base defense.
I think they could have just used sleep, though, to try and delay it. I don't think it's worth losing your T3 just for that. If you do happen to make a slight
But here's
mishap.
the thing, though. Would you use the sleep before you use RP?
I mean, I think to save your T3,
card,
though,
right?
it's just going to be so easy for them. That's without the Aegis. Imagine if he has Aegis, you have to take him out 3 times. That's going to be very, very difficult, I think.
Or here's the thing, though. If LGD notice that you use slip, they back off and they go straight into the Roshan pit. It's always a big danger if you use your sleep and you don't win a big fight off of it, I think. I feel like the sleep is the only thing that's really keeping them in the game, as well as mirror image.
At least they didn't take out the Rax, though. That is the most important thing about that fight.
Does Rax actually mean anything in this game?
It means a little bit. It'll be very difficult for LGD to split or Zenith to split push. They are trying their best, though. Ice has just been constantly annoying LGD, sending these Naga illusions on the weak supports. Again, DD constantly taking damage from it. They have an urn, they have a mech, so they can heal up a little bit from it, but the creep wave is going to be constantly pushed out.
Blink Dagger being picked up here by DDC. I really like Yamate as well as XY kind of playing their tag team together.
Wait, Sylar can't pick up his Aegis. Look at his items. Unless he drops his Shadow Blade.
Probably Magnus here has Xiaowei. Is this going to be blind yet? They are going to do a blind. Ice comes in. Where's the song? Oh, he's going to be using the song just to get out here. That's not how they drew up the game plan, but, you know, that's what happened. And now with the Aegis, now they will be doing what we're talking about.
Yeah, Song or Siren on cooldown too.
Yep, well, but Zenith doing a very good job taking a tier 2 and now going to be harassing some tier 3. And like I was trying to point out earlier, gotta get out, guys. I really like their two-man push because it means that nobody on the Radiant side, aside from Sylar, could actually solo defend against these two guys. If you try to solo defend against Puck with the Scythe as well as XY, you just melt. And Sylar, even he's got to be somewhat careful. He's kind of insane though with the AC and his ultimate on. Are they going to make a go attempt on him? I think they can actually kill him if he doesn't have his ultimate turned on.
Yeah, I think they could possibly can. He has 22 armor right now, though. He is super scary. And if Magnus TPs, whew. Maybe with a Wisp TP kick, I think they could definitely do it. If they can time it, as soon as he's backing off, just blink scythe them. But it looks like LGD is making another move for mid. Again, this timing is really important for them. The T3 is going to be under attack on top, but they don't have a T3 in mid for Zenith. I think that they can just go on the racks. Still 2 minutes left on the Glyph of Fortification.
There is Glyph available on the Radiant side. Looks like Yamate is going to get sent back. Here we go. Sylar is going to go straight for your Raxus, and there's just really little they could do. They will be using Song, so RP is going to be a big thing now in the next upcoming team fight. Illusions will be sent right on Magnus, or it should be, to cancel his BKB. BKB already used right now. They can focus on the Naga Siren. Does he have buyback? That's the question. I'm not sure whether he does. He does. He buys back right now, and everybody reset, but Sylar says, I'll reset right on your racks. He does not care about Blinding Light now because he does have the MKB. These illusions coming right back on. They can focus on Sylar. Sylar does not have the Aegis. RP number 1 being used. Second RP going to be used as well. Sylar's still alive. No lifesteal on him. He's going to go down, but he's very, very far. No, he has Butcher Travel. Nobody focusing on the siege, and at the big back, Sylar's right back in the fight, focusing on XY, and he's stunned. One stun goes on it. He gets Heaven's Halberd. He's still okay. He's right-clicking away. He gets a second kill, and where's the Naga Siren? They are all dispersing from multiple sides. Sylar, he should, in my opinion, just go straight on the racks. Blink Impale goes on Yamate. He should be fine as well. Blink Dagger's back up. And, well, they do ignore everybody. These illusions, these cockroaches of Naga Siren, why won't they die? Xiaowei is so low. And he's, well, he should be okay because he's got the Aegis. And Sylar finally has discovered the racks, and now we'll be going right on him.
Wow, and I think that fight went okay for Zenith. The thing is, right now, if they kill Sylar, it's almost GG.
Well,
wow, Yamata finds a kill.
Oh, will they kill Sylar? That's a big question. You talked about the GG. Sylar throws away the stun. His BKB's out. He's still netted. Now goes to the Invis and ship back off in a very, very safe. Did I ever hear Song of Siren being used? No, it's still available.
Wow, if they picked them off right there, that would have been massive. Again, I feel like they're presented with some sort of these opportunities, like opportunities on a golden plate, but just not taking them. They had the gem. Magnus was super low. I think they could have killed him, but he didn't have any of his RPs up. But he doesn't really mean that much if he doesn't have his RPs in. If they kill Sylar right there, they have like a 90-second window, almost 90 seconds, to push that mid lane down. But regardless, Zenith will live to fight another day. I guess they were a little bit scared because Ice does not have his buyback and Life Stealer was not up. But they will live to fight another day. Another 7 minutes on Roshan.
Yeah, I could tell you that for sure, though. We're not going to see many fights. For
How many relocates have we seen in this game?
Like 2?
Maybe 2.
Like, when you see a lineup that has both Keeper of Light and Wisp, you expect to be all over the map, right? With just abusing recall, abusing relocate. We haven't seen any of it, and it's just a playstyle that Zenith chose with their Naga Siren farming for Relic first and just kind of split pushing all of the game. I really think that this particular playstyle is a good way to kind of draw the game and maybe find those mistakes that LGD is making and then capitalize on them. But they really haven't. You talked about the kind of closed windows or maybe using Song to cancel some TPs as the LGD is retreating and maybe go for some pickoffs. They could have won the game in my opinion right there if they kill Sylar a second time. Couldn't do it. So Zenith is, again, I don't think they're out of this game despite being down racks. As you see, the Life Stealer is going for Basher. But it's definitely getting a lot harder now as the mid racks is down and there's a ton of pressure. The Naga Siren split push is going to be less effective, at least on the mid lane. Here we go, Sylar leading the rest of the team. Are they going to go for a push right now? I really don't think they need to.
Wow,
really
Magnus has a heart. Oh my goodness.
Real fast, why are they pushing when he has no buyback?
I don't actually know. I think they definitely need to wait for it. 3 minutes on that. If they focus him down, it is almost certainly GG.
Right,
That's scary thing. He has a Manta Style, so finally 6 slotted. Traded out his Shadow Blade for a Manta Style. I feel like it's a decent pickup. Already has his MKB.
Yo, I think Sylar's about.
Ooh. We'll see.
Man. I don't know, man.
He has 4 seconds. Oh my goodness, this could be it right here.
Do they have relocate?
They need to
right?
relocate.
This is the one relocate they can use.
Oh my goodness.
No, they back up.
No. Again, they're presented these opportunities that are so close. If they just execute it correctly, they can just straight up win the game. But
do they need to make that jump?
I think they do. I mean, look at what happens when LGD actually forces the issue, though. And the later this game goes, the less creeps are going to be relevant, the less barracks are going to be relevant, and they just can't keep losing them at this point, though. I mean, the less relevant it is for LGD. We'll see, though. Again, this next Roshan, I think that if LGD secures it, it's almost certainly GG. But another 5 minutes until that. I think they were a little bit slow on a Song of Siren, too. You talked about how during the first push, they probably shouldn't have used a Song of Siren. But, I mean, it was... I think it could have better been used to defend their T3. They just lost that Rex so easily without that T3 up.
I also believe that LGD, somebody needs to pick up a Vlad's. Because Sylar's definitely right-clicking a lot and very fast and very hard. He needs some lifesteal, and he definitely is out of slots. So maybe Windrunner or Magnus or whoever, they're going to go... this should be a free kill, right, on Yao? Well, they don't see the Magnus, so that's why they're really afraid to make that jump. Because, well, now they do.
How long have they been sitting there? They are so patient.
No, they've been moving around and whatnot, but no, they just don't want to make that
Oh,
jump.
they might pick off someone in the back, though. Are
they going to pick off the courier, or is this
Get
culmination
that
of all the
courier.
weight? No.
Nope.
Just checking out the scenery, you know?
He doesn't have buyback on Yamata, though. That's a really big deal.
Okay, well, nothing happens. Sylar is...
Anticlimactic.
Yeah.
So it looks like LGD is going to force the issue, but this time they will not have Aegis. They do not have buyback on Magnus. Oh, they're looking for Sylar. Again, there could be big plays.
Are they looking for courier?
Oh, kind of. But this is just strange.
Meanwhile, the courier being smartly micro to the
but
left
one
side.
illusion in each of the 3 lanes. One on top, one in bottom, one in mid, and they're actually whacking away at the T3 right now. Is LGD going to TP back?
They will.
Yep.
Glyph is going to get used as well. Multiple TPs because these illusions join the fray as well. I mean, for LGD with the 1 racks down, they have bought themselves a ton more time. But what I said really remains is that Sylar has been stacked. He's been maxed out for a long time, and it's up to it now.
I told you, being 6-slotted is a problem. Being 6-slotted too fast.
It's not really a problem. You're winning the entire. You've been up for the entire game for a
Look
long
at how
time.
the gold graph has like slightly petered out. It was like 18,000 maybe 15 minutes ago, around the 38-minute mark, and now it's just a little under 20,000. So I mean, they're falling a little bit behind. Ooh, I didn't actually see that pick off there.
It was just your two-man gang party, the patient two-man gang party.
Yeah.
They finally decided.
They got one.
Yeah, they got one, and they all TP back home.
LGD is kind of pinned to their base now, and again, the longer you delay the game, the better it is for Zenith. This 20,000 gold difference does not make too much of a difference when you can't actually push down a T3. Again, this Roshan I think will be a very hot point of contest. But Naga is probably queen of the Roche Pit if Batrider's the king.
Yeah, I think that if Naga has enough damage, or if Naga and perhaps Lifestealer have enough damage to take the Roshan by themselves, that's when really the Radiant is having an issue. Because now, since they don't, LGD is very safe. They can be pinned back to their base, and they don't lose too much.
This must be so annoying for LGD. They had such a good start. They actually won the early game for
They're
once.
the team that plays anti-mage and do this to every
You
other.
love anti-mage.
I
What
love
are you
it,
talking
right?
about,
Like,
LGD?
yeah, they can't complain. They have
Or
no
Lumi,
right to
rather.
complain. So these Nagas are, because they have a heart.
She's almost 6-slotted too. I mean, she has a soul ring, but she has 3,000 gold. I'm wondering what she can go for next. She has a butterfly, heart, manta, all the normal items. Diffusal, Scotty would be pretty good. They have a lot of BKBs, but again, what item can you really go to man versus the man mode versus the alchemist? Pretty much nothing. You have to kite him with disable during. I'm watching DDC follow Ice here.
You be careful.
Oh goodness, looks like he may be caught out here.
Uh-oh. They know exactly where Ice is. If they RP him right there, RP my out. It's got Hex. Where's the RP? RP number 1? No, they're gonna try to chase them. You know why do you do this? All right.
Oh my
He's
goodness.
Gonna be back. He's gonna be back, but he's gonna be back with Song of Siren, or the Wisp is gonna be back. So,
Wow.
Game was nice. No.
Where'd he go? What? Oh, he got recalled. Oh my goodness, that's some next.
The actual.
That's some next level plays right there.
Meanwhile, Zenith trying to seize some tower. We've been saying that this game was won
What?
for a long time for LGD,
What in
but
the
LGD
world?
is like... Okay, I just want to say that LG is up by 20,000 gold, which is...
That was the play of the game right there. That would have been almost certainly a buyback on a Naga Siren, and then the Wisp escaping the process just topped it all off.
Yao doesn't have his BKB just yet. He's going to be fine.
That was so cheeky.
All right, all right, does LG need to start backdooring here?
What in the world just oh my goodness. I'm still slightly speechless about what happened there.
Zenith just pulling an old school MYM.
That's why you pick Wiz to make one play in the whole
Yeah,
entire game.
Well, there's no pulling dagger involved this play, but it was.
I mean, saving Naga Siren's buyback is probably the most important thing
Yes,
for
it
Zenith
really
right
is. The most important resource in late game is not things like Raxes. It's not things like, well, it's slots and buybacks, right? Those are the two most important thing. And
When you
Naga,
get this late, yes.
Yeah, it really is. And again, we see Yamate with his trusted friend inside, looking for a pickoff perhaps on Yao. It is very dangerous to go for these pickoffs right in front of their base because, you know, Magnus.
Look at their T3s. They're actually taking a lot of damage. All three of them around 1,200 HP. Some of them a little bit lower. And, I mean, if this continues, this could be very bad. But Roshan has already responded to. I feel like Zenith could potentially sneak it in. They have enough back control right now.
Oh, DDC just going to get a melted a second time here.
Wow,
Magnus
they are
should be
so
fine.
patient about this puck.
Again, looks like Coil's going to be used. He should be fine. RP going to be used right there. Do you skewer backwards? You do. There's a second RP available. I think he's going to be using a Sun Knock, another skewer backwards, and they're going to be focusing on XY. The bash going to come through. That's going to be one kill. I says, man, don't want me here. He does have the second RP available. That will hit him with the RP. Blinding Light. Silas running back, but there's a relocate up on the top lane here. Ice gets Hex. You got to get him out. Song of Siren being stolen by Rubik, and he's using it right back against Ice, and he is going to get bashed. A nice shackle here by Yao to follow through, and they will force that one buyback. Great play here. I don't like the play by Rubik as Teamfight breaks out in the middle here. Xiaowei should be fine. Skewers puck on the back. He gets mech'd up here. He should be fine going to the right side. The stun's going to get phased, or will it though? Oh no, Yamate is going to get blown up. That's how. Does he have buyback? He does not, because he picked up a Mystic Staff. Zenith making some critical misplays in this late game. Or Ice TP's in. Breach of Travel makes all these illusions, and now they cannot push.
Yeah, the real question is, can they delay until puck is down? Can they really salvage this next Aegis?
Yes,
Again,
they can. Yes, they can, because look at these creep wave. Naga's right in the tier 3 towers.
Yeah. Yes, they are. Again, this next Roshan is going to be a really big deal for them. If Magnus gets it, he's almost unkillable as is. 3-3-3-8. Over 3,300 HP for this Magnus, and he has buyback too. Like, what a beast.
I just want to point out that Naga Siren is eclipsed the Alchemist last hit chart by a mile. She's almost
Well, look at the net worth. He's 41,000 in net worth. Naga's
well,
only at 28.
that's where Grievel's Greed comes in right
Grievel's
now.
Greed 2 OP.
DDC is going to find Ice. Can he actually solo kill Ice? He's going to try here. Mana Burn,
Yep.
one more hit. Shockwave's going to seal the deal. These kills are a lot more important for LG to pick up because...
There is a buyback on him. 1,200 gold on the Keeper Light. That is very expensive. But again, their lanes aren't pushed out right now. Sure, you had the buyback on Naga Siren, but and to push out the lanes, but you don't have it now. You're only 3 strong.
They lack Blinding Light, they lack Illuminate, and that's a big deal against Sylar. Are they going to go for the straight throw? No, they want the bot Rex. This is going to be more of a kind of battle of attrition. Buyback being forced out by Keeper. And here comes the Glyph being used as well. They got to really drop that Blinding Light.
No refresher up on Magnus.
Uh-oh. Refresher. I mean, his RP's not, to me, not that really important. I think his most important spell right now is Empower. It's the Blink Skewer. Sylar losing a little bit of mana as he stutter steps back.
It doesn't, that level 3 chemical rage though, so much mana.
Yeah.
Oh, what a pickoff.
Backstab here is gonna RP is gonna be used on against Yamate. Yamate trades his life for 1, and now XY is gonna get Shackle after Scythe, but there is a sleep being used. XY is gonna TP back out, so very good defensive. But again, with the sleep being down, they just go without fear.
Sleeping?
What?
I don't know. I just thought that was really funny.
Sleeping being used? Sleeping used? There's
Would
a lot
the
of sleep
sleeping be used?
Sleeping be used. LGD pushing back on the creep equilibrium on the mid lane. These Naga illusions still being annoying us. Now they're just gonna be running away. No, they turn back for a bit.
Why did Puck buy a Mystic Staff? That just boggles my mind because they know that, I mean, what does 25 intelligence do for you right now? Like, near nothing. And they really need that buyback, like, just so desperately. You need buyback on everybody.
They didn't lose
on
anything.
Zenith. Yeah.
They lost a buyback on Keeper as a result,
But no Glyph right now. They have Song of Siren up in 15 seconds time. No buyback yet on Naga for 3 minutes. Things are looking hairy.
Sylar trying to get his way up to it. He's losing some HP. Manta does not remove you from those net. Working on that tier 3 slowly but surely. Tier 3 don't regen in terms of HP. Here we go. No, nothing being thrown. Sylar.
Oh, XY manning up on Xiao 8.
No, nothing happening though here. Sylar going back and forth. Sylar my cam is on you, man, because he's definitely the most important player. X-Freedom looking to rescue any ally if they get in trouble.
His chemical rage is about to be down. It is down. Oh, they're making the move.
No, force that back out. They have so many ways to actually protect him. RP is back up. Are they going to go? He blinks into the tether. Song's going to be used, but a little bit too early. Net goes on Sylar. He's now actually asleep, so he can't focus him. Song's going to be gone soon, and Xiaowei does have the RP skewer forward. No. He thunder checks. Jukes one nuke. Jukes a second. Shackle shot. That's not going to lash as well. Finally, they get him with a stun, but do you relocate? RP for where's the relocate? Get him back home.
Oh,
no, he
too
dies.
late.
Does he have buyback?
I think that's GG right
No
there. That was so
buyback.
close to him being relocated out.
Oh, that was like just a split-second difference here. And Sylar says, all right, guys, finally I get to hit your
He has
Raxus."
buyback too. I mean,
Yeah, he has buyback and future travel. He should be fine. He's
wow,
gonna go in for the hill.
Longasiren almost dodged all those though.
Next
Yeah, it looks like
one,
GG.
Trying to man fight. That should be it, yeah. Raxus is going to go down. Sylar is going to start focusing on the throne. But even though this gold chart doesn't suggest it, what the hell a back-and-forth game. This is got to be
That
one of
was
the most
closer than
interesting games.
expected.
Yeah, this is kind of crazy game. 25,000 gold lead at
Wow.
the end, but each step of the way was kind of a big sigh of like relief.
Zenith
and-
was just like hanging on for dear
Yeah,
lives
they-
though.
But what a play on that Roche pit where Naga got focused, RP whiffed, the teleport out, and Wisping save as well. But LGD will take game number 1 after some spectacular team plays on both ends.
Indeed. Cheeky Nagasiren play. She's only level 19?
She don't get experience by sending illusion. Yeah,
I
farming
guess
illusion.
so.
So I mean, after
For
this,
tactical low level for shorter respawn time.
did you expect this kind of play out of Zenith, where they don't do gimmicky? But this is kind of gimmicky.
This is gimmicky.
But you know, farming the whole game against LGD, which is probably one of the best late game
They
teams
need
in
to
the world.
draft better. I mean, like the Knicks kind of was crap, and
Yeah.
then I don't know. The Wisp didn't really do anything. I
He
think
had
that's
that
fair
one
enough to
play.
say.
He had that one play.
The one play. So let's
Right.
pass it back to our analysts, see what they have to say about the game.
Woo! That was a classic Zenith draft.
Yes.
Maximum split push, maximum trolling, cheesiness out the wazoo, stealing the Aegis, using sleep to stall the game, the relocate saves. That game had a little bit of everything except Zenith notching a W. They couldn't get the win.
Unfortunately, I think now we found the real culprit when we saw all the long series between LGD China and Orange.
Yeah.
I think it's LGD China's fault. They really like those long games.
They played it a little bit safer maybe than they needed to at times.
Yeah.
Like Merlini said, why couldn't they have just gone down mid and taken the melee racks 15, 20 minutes ago? Still, you play against these teams like Zenith and Orange, and they are a bit mistake-prone in the late game. So I feel LGD's style might be a bit boring, but against these teams, maybe it's just the easiest way to win for a team like LGD.
Well, I think they took advantage of, I think Merlini was saying it right, level 19 on Nagasiren, when you play that Nagasiren, the split push is amazing. She was able to get the Radiance pretty fast. But yeah, you don't get the levels, you don't get the same amount of things that you would normally get if you're in control of the game. And this is something that's interesting to mention. Zenith lineup was designed to play from behind. When they laned, they said, okay, Alchemist is going to have free farm.
Yeah.
We have a Nyx that's going to be on the jungle. That's not the fastest farm.
Not very efficient.
Then you have a Wisp that will get eventually levels, but it's not a hero that ever gets farm in the game, pretty much, unless you have
Right.
things going in your way. So they knew from the beginning, they couldn't be thinking, okay, we can get ahead with this lane. No, they said, we're going to get behind with these lanes, and we're going to play all the game from behind, and just count on the ability to relocate, to split push with the illusions, the recall of the Keeper of the Light, to make things happen.
Yeah.
And they actually did it very well for a long time. That's why the game went for 60-something minutes.
It was basically, I felt like I was watching guerrilla warfare from Zenith. It's like the Americans have come to Vietnam, and Zenith was the Viet Cong. And they have BB guns, they have, you know, rifles, and then the Americans are coming in, or in this case, LGD, and they've got the tanks, they've got the ballistic missiles, they have the massive navy. Zenith just could not clash. They could not fight 5v5, even in the ultra late game. I felt like they didn't take enough advantage of some of the opportunities, though. There were times where Sleep has a 1 minute cooldown. You can go in, try and go for a kill. Even if you completely whiff it, by the time LGD actually gets to your base, it'll be off cooldown.
Yeah, and
similarly with the Puck Lifestealer trapped in the trees, never made any goes. If you're going to play that kind of style, you got to make an attempt at some point. You can't just let LGD build up their momentum, get to the point where they're this unstoppable force barreling down the middle lane, because Zenith weren't a great defensive team. They were just a great stalling team.
Yeah. And I think other thing that hurt them a lot was the fact that they picked Magnus was crucial, not because of the reverse polarity, but rather because having Alchemist with power there
Versus the illusions.
hurt so much, because
It
if
really
he
does.
didn't have that amount of AoE damage, he wouldn't have been able to deal with the Naga Siren at all. I mean, you can deal with the Naga Siren, but the illusions will keep hitting you, and then the damage stacks.
You know, I want to go back to one thing you said, though, about the laning stage. I
Yes.
definitely agree with you that they didn't expect to win the laning stage, but Yamate, I felt, really should have won mid in that matchup. Magnus versus Puck. That was the one lane that Puck should come out ahead, and Magnus should not have as fast of a blink, BKB, and refresher orb as Xiao8 did. Xiao8 won a disadvantaged matchup, and credit to him for playing well, but that was the one lane where I think Zenith are probably a bit disappointed about how it turned out.
Probably, but on the other side, you have to expect Magnus to get eventually the things that he wants to.
Eventually, but he had them really early.
Yeah, but this is not a game that was decided at 20 minutes in. So if you say, well, these guys were, I mean, they were ahead by that point. But if it's a 25-minute game, and you say, well, this happened because the Magnus had Blink Dagger at 10 minutes,
Right.
then that was maybe their fault. I agree with you that Yamate could have done better. But on the other hand, I think in the big scheme of things, it didn't matter that much because
I could see that.
Yeah, the laning stage they moved on.
I think if Yamate does have a good start there, though, he shuts down Xiao8. The Magnus is the engine for those group up and fights. If you don't have Blink RP, you can't really force a fight into a Keeper of the Light, into just all the counter push and the Naga illusion spam.
Right.
So it made a difference, like you said. I don't think it was the biggest issue. Some of the late game decision making. We have Lumi crawling on the floor here, but some of the late game decision making, just too many pickoffs from Zenith at the end. It is hard against Blink RP, but gave up too many kills. If you go back and look at it, XY and the Lifestealer gets picked off top, then Yamate throws away the Aegis. That's around like the 34-minute mark. Does end up escaping in the end. There were some fantastic escapes. I feel like it could have been a lot worse if Zenith didn't have those really flashy plays, but they fell too far behind early and just couldn't find their mojo to kind of break the base. Maybe would have liked to see some more Wisp backdoor shenanigans, something along those lines. You did have a Naga with a Butterfly and a Manta.
Yeah.
That push is very hard. Even through the backdoor regen, you can maybe force a TP or two back. It seemed like they were sort of haltingly trying to do it at the end, but it was a bit too late at that point.
Yeah, but I still like Zenith chances, I have to say. I don't think this is...
LGD they seemed to struggle a bit towards the end to kind of deal with what Zenith was throwing their way.
I mean, when you're playing at like, look at the other side, right? LGD China was playing at an advantage all game.
Right.
And it took them 60 minutes to win.
That's sort of what Zenith does to you. They're they are one of the most annoying teams in the world. I mean, I know VP has been frustrated. We've had NS on record accusing Fnatic of rat dota. Zenith invented rat dota. These guys are the masters of it.
Yes, they know how to play against you. They know how to play as it. Of course, they shine when they're at an advantage, which was what I was talking before, because of these flashy players. But that doesn't mean that they will lose and they will call GG 15 minutes into the game. I would be surprised if they do that next game. I think that they are a group of kids that can give any team lots of trouble. And
can they beat the best, though? That's the question. Can they beat one of the top Chinese teams?
I think they can.
Okay.
I think at least one game.
Well, I think we all did predict LGD China 2-1. Merlini actually thought it might be 2-0 for LGD China. So we will take a quick break, Bruno, but then we're going to come back. It's going to be Game 2, LGD China versus Zenith. Let's see if Zenith can find their mojo. They'll need to soon, else they will drop to the lower bracket. More action after this.